And we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar from Brochure site to Growth Engine. Let's see who's here. There's a few people coming in still. So let's wait a few more minutes for more people to join. In the meantime, I'm Alessia. I'm the co-founder of Code and Wonder. We're a digital agency that specializes in building scalable websites for marketing teams in B2B SaaS, fintech, health tech, and legal. So yeah, let's give it a few minutes. And if you're already here, make sure you grab a cup of coffee or tea or drink, depending where you are in the world. And we're going to start soon. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. I'm super excited about this and get started. And I thought, while we wait a few minutes, I'll just give you an intro about Code and Wonder and who we are. So we've been running the company for, it's going to be 10 years now in October. And throughout the years, we've seen a lot of changes in the industry, from, the whole code scene coming in to now AI taking the central stage, and how websites have evolved throughout all of these years. Before, they were just kind of a brochure site or just somewhere to send people to make sure that you exist. But now they've completely transformed into something that the sales team is using, that different teams are using, and bringing together like all of the different aspects of marketing and sales and development and brand into one system, which, we're going to go over in this webinar. So there is already quite a few of you here, which is great. Thank you all for joining. So we can get started. And here to join me, we have Shainaz from EIP, a global IP law firm. And we're going to talk about the transformation that you had with your site. So welcome, Shainaz.
Thank you for having me.
Would you like to just introduce yourself, your role, and what EIP does so that everyone knows you?
Yeah, of course. I'm so happy to be here, and I can't wait to see people engaging in the chat. So I'm Shainaz Stewart. I'm the head of marketing and business development at EIP. Like Alessia said, we are a global intellectual law firm. We specialize in patents, and that essentially means that we help our clients protect and commercialize their innovations. We work with clients from all different sizes, from startups through to large technology companies, and we are an international law firm. So that means from a website, we had to make sure that we were hitting different markets. We also have various different service areas. Such as our patenting group, we have our litigation group, and then a group that we call consulting. So we wanted to capture all of this in a website, and I'm excited to tell you more about how we were able to do that.
Great. Thank you so much. And talking of what we're going to talk about, we've got a little agenda here that we're going to go over. So we're going to start with, the initial challenge that you had, and then moving on to how you made the decision in, creating a new site. What is a growth engine? So our 4 pillars that we deem that create that growth engine, and then finally the impact that it had on EAP and your site and your team. So there will be a little, we'll see if we have time to answer any questions. So if you do have any questions, put them in the chat and we'll review them at the end afterwards. So why don't we start kind of looking back at how, what the EIP site was. What was the initial challenge? What made you think, okay, we need to change something, we need to transform the site? What were those challenges that were at the start?
Yeah, so we actually started a new marketing and business development strategy, and it was basically about collating all of our services and making sure that EIP as a brand was reflected across across the board, from how we speak to our clients, our messaging, what our website looked like, and other tools that we used. And so one of the things, once we approved the strategy, is we wanted to look at our website to make sure that everything was consistent and flowed through. And we also had a new brand at the same time. So we had an old website, which was actually 10 years old. Now, our old website was pretty impressive for 10 years. The design was still brilliant. It was still very much on brand, and I don't think anyone looking at it would know that it was 10 years old.
I remember, I remember looking at it. I was like, wait, this is 10 years old? Because it looked really good. And I don't actually know any site that it's that old, to be honest, because most of them, change fairly regularly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So our website, it was, I think it was pretty good. And we had so many people compliment us on it. So we knew that we still wanted to keep that initial design of the website. But essentially, we did need a bit more functionality. We started to upload more content, our team, ourselves, and we wanted new pages. We wanted a different structure to show our services. And therefore, essentially, we needed something that was flexible for the team and that could help us put in more volume. That means like building pages ourselves. When it came to events, which we run a lot of, being able to do the event pages ourselves. So we wanted to be able to build things ourselves without ruining our amazing brand, which we were a bit too scared to do ourselves. We're not developers, so we wouldn't know how to do that. So essentially what we started looking at was solutions where we could basically have our branding in there, have maybe components or whatever else. I didn't know the word at the time was components, or whatever we needed, but have our templates in there, and then we can go off as our team and be pretty independent. Whereas on our old site, we were independent in some aspects, so we could upload articles, etc. But a lot of it we would have to go to our dev team for support. So we kind of wanted to remove that functionality.
Totally. And we see this across so many teams where maybe they're like stuck in a older or custom CMS, and they can do all of the basic things of maybe uploading new blog posts. But then when it comes to launching campaigns and new pages, they're kind of limited to what the developer can do, either internally or externally. And a lot of the time it creates that bottleneck where you feel like you always have to ask to do something. And you can't just react to the market of like something happen and you quickly want to put a page out there that reflects what is happening in the industry and be reactive. And maybe like weeks go past, and it's because everything has to be scheduled or designed and developed and so forth. So you're kind of missing that opportunity of being reactive instead of having something that the team, whether it's marketing, sales, or whatever position they have within the team, they can take ownership and create those assets that they need to maximize their impact throughout their job.
That's what we needed. I think speed was such a big one for us. We were able, like our old website, we could do a lot on there. We were able to upload our events. We were able to, build new pages, but we didn't, especially because we were building a new strategy and we wanted new content out, we wanted new events out. We couldn't sacrifice that amount of time. And actually we've been able to, on our new website, we've been able to get things up so quickly, much quicker than we were before, which means that we no longer have that kind of like pause that we were having before. So that was a big thing for us. And then, of course, all of the team being able to use it in an easy way was important as well.
Yes, but I remember our first meeting when we were discussing the brief. Obviously, speed was a big one, unlocking that potential of like the team taking ownership of the site and speeding up all of the campaign creation, page creation, and so forth. And I remember asking this question of what should it do for your business? Should it attract new leads? Should it have a funnel of lead generation? And I feel like that wasn't one of the main aspects of it. It was still kind of back. Do you want to briefly describe what was the initial kind of brief when we first started talking?
Yeah, I remember that as well, Alessia. I think about it all the time, actually, because I remember we were in a meeting and we were discussing what we wanted from the website, and you guys kind of said, well, how much leads do you expect to get from your website on a monthly basis? And we were like, oh no, we don't really get leads from our website, so we're not expecting anything. So initially the brief was, I guess, to to put our new messaging out there, which we've changed, and also to bring our new brand to life, because at the same time we were doing a really cool brand refresh. We had new elements of our brand, and we changed our logo from just a normal EIP logo, which you see with many law firms, to EIP Law and Strategy. So essentially it was kind of to continue to be a brochure site. We weren't expecting many inquiries, and we wasn't at that point really thinking about many lead generation tools for our website as well. Only once we launched the website did we kind of change what we initially wanted from the website, and that's just because of the results that we saw.
And when did that shift happen? Because I remember then a few months later we had another discussion being like, oh my God, we're receiving leads from the site.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
When did you realize that actually the website could be so much more than just the brochure site?
Yeah, so even when we launched in, I think it was the end of December. We launched like really quickly to get to the end of December. We were originally planning for January. And even when we launched, we didn't really expect any leads at all. So after we launched, I would say after like the first 2 weeks, we saw a spike in traffic, and then we started seeing more and more inquiries coming through. But they were actually high quality inquiries that we felt are actually aligned to exactly what we would expect, like what we would want to come in. So we started to get these inquiries, and we realized, oh wow, the website can help us bring in some business, which is great because we're a law firm. We have a marketing and business development budget, and we focus on, heavily on events. So we go out and we try and win business, and it's all external of us going to different places to try and win business, or we're putting our own events, etc. And I don't think we'd had really ever considered the website. So we started to get these inquiries, and then from there we realized we didn't even at that point have an internal process, because we just didn't expect this to happen. So after a few weeks of the website being live, we rolled out an internal process, and now it's just part of like our day-to-day discussions when we're thinking about, bringing in work for our different like key areas of the business. We can help us with that.
Great. And I feel like that whole visibility is due from numerous things, from good SEO and now good AEO, and making sure that everything is structured in a way that is readable both by humans and machines these days. But also the fact that you can continuously update it, obviously that helps with ranking the site more, which adds to visibility, which then adds to more people knowing and finding out about EAP, and then potentially leading to inquiries. And currently the new site is now built in Webflow. So I was wondering if there was any decision making on how you chose your CMS. Was that a conscious decision, or something that just came about and you said, okay, yeah, let's go with this tool?
Yeah, well, I had never heard of Webflow before I started doing my research. So how it came around, so we knew that we wanted to have a bit more flexibility, and we wanted to be able to build more ourselves, not the whole thing. We just knew that we wanted to be able to edit pages a bit more and use some components. And I was speaking to our founder, and he actually had met someone, I think he said, who invested in Webflow, and so he said we should check out Webflow. At the same time, we also were looking at Framer. So our founder has another business, and they use Framer, and they are able to build a lot more themselves than what we could do on the old EIP website. So we knew roughly how to use Framer. So those were the two shortlisted sites, tools that we were going to use. So I started doing a bit of research, and I was looking at Webflow and Framer agencies. And I had used Framer a little bit, and I did find it quite difficult to use. And then I remember seeing Webflow, and I think, Alessia, you showed me a demo, and I was kind of overwhelmed by just the structure. It does look like, looks like a development environment to me. But then when you started showing me how you use it and how you use the components, I realized that, oh, this could actually be quite easy for me and the team to use. It seems like quite an easy tool once you showed me how you structure it as Code and Wonder. So from there, it was pretty clear that we were going to use Webflow. We, from the beginning, ruled out kind of more traditional sites such as WordPress, because we knew we wanted to do something that was ahead of the curve. That's what we've always done. That's just like our old website, and that's how it lasted 10 years. So we wanted to continue to do that. So we wanted to look at modern tools that were always innovating and would have the latest tech in it, and that's how we ended up using Webflow.
Yes, I find both Framer and Webflow are really good tools.
Yeah.
I mean, Framer is more tailored. It looks like Figma. So if you're a designer, it might become quite intuitive.
Mm,
If you're a developer, maybe Webflow is more intuitive because, like you said, it's a
yeah.
visual development
Mhm.
kind of software, and a lot more now as it's developing more and more. But the way that we the way that we build every single site is to make it as easy as possible for you to use it. So
Yeah.
the way that all of the components are structured and laid together is specifically for you and your team, and then kind of training you on how to use those components without hopefully never actually seeing the code that underlies
Yeah.
like underneath. But if you have someone more technical on the team, they can always dig in and go into the nitty-gritty of like all of the HTML and CSS and JavaScript and everything that
Yeah.
composes the site. But you have all of these different levels that you can build. So you have the underlying code that if you
Mhm.
want, you never see. And then build on top of that is all the various components that your team. And I find that component system and structure, it's a lot easier, hopefully, to
Yeah,
use,
it is.
even for maybe less technical um,
Yeah.
people. And so, how did you find the team, the wider team, adopted that system, and how are they working now compared to how it was before?
Yeah, I think we love it. I mean, there's so much we can do. We do tend to experiment because the way that you guys have built our site, we know that pretty much all of the brands in there and the components are there, so they're all on brand. So then we can go in and we can type whatever we want, which is quite good. We're a lot more flexible than we were before. I would say currently it's still the core marketing and business development team that use the website, but we do so much more than we did previously. So, for example, our marketing and business development assistant, he built out a new fintech page for us, which was one of our new capabilities that we offered. Whereas previously we wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, I don't even know how we'd get started. But where our new website has pretty much our brand guidelines coded in, our colors coded in, our font sizes coded in, and everything else, it's much easier for us to set up our web pages. We're actually hoping in the very near future to actually roll the site out even wider, firm wide, and we can have some of our solicitors and attorneys actually go on there and upload some of their content themselves, which would be a great step. And I remember when we were looking at the original brief, that was a question that we had, like, could we make this wider than just the marketing and business development team? So we're hoping to do that as well. We do think it's intuitive enough for everyone in the firm to be able to use it. Outside of our team, our recruitment team use it here and there. So we have our careers page and they upload job roles on there regularly. So the careers page, I mean, the bulk of the content kind of sits there. It's kind of static, but of course the job roles come on and off. So we've built with Code and Wonders Help an amazing kind of app where we push our job roles onto the app and it goes into the careers page. So it's very easy for them to use, and we do that regularly. I mean, they have not given us any feedback, so that means it's going well.
Great. Sometimes no feedback is a good
Yeah,
good
yeah.
problem to have. Um,
Mhm.
And I mean, it's amazing to hear that more and more team members are using the site, which brings me back to the growth engine. So here it's like, well, first of all, it's like, what do we mean by growth engine? Because I feel like it's a word that gets thrown about, but no one really explains. So for us at Code and Wonder, the growth engine has four main pillars. The first one is speed, which we've touched upon, like speed of development, making sure that the whole team can create new pages and be reactive to the market. And the second one is visibility. So previously it would be mainly SEO, but now AEO. So answer engine optimization has become a crucial part of sites as well. And I don't know if you experience this yourself, but nowadays I feel like very few people go and Google and like actually look at all the results. I feel like the first instinct is to ask an LLM, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude, for whatever question you have. And most of the time is very detailed, right? It's exactly like all of the context, all of the scenarios, so that it can give a personalized answer. And sites need to be optimized for that, which it is a little bit an overlap with SEO, but it has so much more that you have to keep in mind. And then we have the third pillar is sales. So like you mentioned, having the wider team being able to upload all of their resources and then using those resources for also any sales calls, also makes sure that everything is shared. And because I've heard in the past where every sales person or a team have their own resources, which maybe are slightly outdated compared to another team or slightly different, and then everyone has their own. Well, if you upload them all to the site, everyone has kind of one point to go and pick up the latest resources from there. And then lastly is that conversion piece. So once you have all that traffic coming to the site, it's capturing that traffic and making sure that it converts to a lead, and especially a qualified lead. That's what we want. And
Yeah.
I mean, all of this, like you mentioned, initially, this wasn't the plan at all, right? It was a brand redesign, brand reimplementation, and kind of bringing the site to the new standard. But you also started seeing, that AI visibility coming through. How and when did you started seeing those changes?
Yeah, I think pretty much immediately. So we do monthly analytics on our website. And I think even from the very beginning, we started seeing results from ChatGPT. That was from January and we launched in December. And then over time, it just keeps increasing. I would say still our main or our second biggest channel driving traffic to the site is organic search, and then our AI results just keep going up and up. So I've actually got some notes in front of me which I'll read. But so in the month of May, so last month, we had visitors arriving to our website from ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and Claude. So we're now covering a lot more AI tools, which is brilliant. And it wasn't actually a focus for us. Like we haven't built an actual AEO strategy. This is just based on, moving our new website. And I think the structure of our site and the content that we have on there. But I'm sure if we were to focus more on it, we would get even more results. But we're happy that we have traffic coming in from AI tools. I think it's great. And we do have a lot of informative content on our website. So I'm glad it's being picked up in various different places.
Yeah, I feel like same as SEO, you have a technical side, making sure that, all the schema and all the implementation on the technical side is there. And then you have more like keywords and content. So yeah, we've tackled the first part and we haven't quite tackled the second one. So I'm super excited to see what will happen once you tackle the content side of AEO and
Me too.
and yeah, see what the results are. And going back to kind of the sales process, you touch upon, having the wider team work on the site and uploading more assets. Is this still in an implementation phase, or have you already tested any kind of sales cycles using the site more?
Yeah, I mean, we have we had many lead generation tools across our site. So we do a lot of demand generation. So we have a lot of content. We have a podcast, we have articles on there, we have case reports on there. I mean, there's so much on our website, which I love, and I wish there was more as well. I'm trying to get more every day. But then we also have some lead generation tools. So we have some newsletters that we have, one called the Patent Strategist, which is on the bottom of most of our pages. We also have a UPC newsletter, which is more of a technical legal newsletter. And that's on the bottom of some of our pages. And then also recently we started rolling out some lead generation tools where people can download content such as a magazine, like an annual magazine that we have. Outside of that, we also use the website a lot for our events. So all of our event traffic's driven to the website. People sign up via our website and they come into our CRM system. So essentially, we are getting many leads through the website in all different forms. So we have the web inquiries that come through, and then we have people sign up to our newsletters and our downloads, etc. I mean, an example of events, we had a period recently, last month, where we had 4 events across 4 days, and we had over 600 people register for these events, and that was all through our website. So that's just brilliant. I mean, I'm not sure how we probably would have managed that before. And what we've done is we've connected all of this into our CRM system. So it's all automatic. So if someone completes anything from the website, it goes into our CRM system. And then from there, they may have a cycle where they may then get a email campaign. We may have set up, you know, like a thank you email or some follow-up emails based on that, which is really good to keep them engaged. But also we have a business development manager who is able to see all of the leads and decide if they're quality or not, and then maybe pass them on to our solicitors or attorneys. It kind of just depends on the lead. We're doing so much more around that now as well. We've actually recently, and when I say recently, I mean this week, we've built out internal lead reporting. So we have a firmwide dashboard, which shows all the leads that come through the website and all the activity that we do. And then we also have a internal email newsletter, which basically like names the leads that are coming through the website. So there's a lot that is coming into the sales cycle now, and we're making sure that we track it. So of course, for my team, we can show the success of everything that we're doing, and I think showing this also encourages more people to want to get involved in content and help support all of the stuff that we need for our website, whether it's podcast episodes or writing an article.
That is such, amazing to hear. And I remember, did you have a sales pipeline before? You mentioned not so much, right? For the
I mean, not really. I mean, individuals would have their own, but not a firm-wide one. Whereas now we have a whole firm-wide one, which is great. And also, I think before maybe our team didn't have oversight of that or ownership of that. Whereas now we own it, and we know exactly what's in the pipeline, exactly who's coming in, which is very good for us.
And I feel like that's kind of the definition of the growth engine, right? So before going back to the before the brief is like, oh no, we don't use the site for lead generation at all. We're not expecting any leads to come from the site. And now building a whole pipeline that goes straight into your CRM with all like the leads to qualify or not through that. It's amazing to see.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, for us, even when we see the reports, we're so impressed, and it's a great way to kind of show our work. Of course, we have dashboards that also show how many people visit the website and how many people click in a certain link, and I love all of that stuff as well. But ultimately, the aim of our team is to kind of win new business. So to be able to show like this is coming through the website, whether it's from an event or a download, and then to show their progress over time and then them becoming a client is essentially our goal.
Amazing. And I often get asked this question because, you know, we mentioned the 4 pillars of the growth engine, and a lot of the people ask me, oh, which one should I start with? But that's a very hard question to answer because they're all interlinked. Because in order to have, you know, a conversion and test the different like conversions optimization options, you need to have the traffic, and the traffic is led by you know, visibility, whether it's SEO or AEO, but also that is helped by you like uploading new things to the site and always keeping the site up to date, which allows, you know, in Google's eyes, it's a active site and therefore they recommend it more. So it's all interlinked, and you need to have a little bit, or at least the foundation for all of those 4 pillars in order for, you know, to see the actual impact and the growth engine to start working.
Yeah, I completely agree. I kind of feel like the website has brought a lot of what we had kind of individually together. Like we had our CRM system, our marketing automation system, but now we're making sure that they link up with the website on both sides. So when, you know, something feeds back from the website, we can collect the data, and then we can kind of make like email newsletters or email campaigns, and then we can redirect them back to the website as well for, I don't know, maybe next month we have a really cool event that we want to invite them to, or we have a really cool podcast episode. We then redirect them back to the website. So essentially, we're always thinking about the website and how everything can connect to that, whether it's something more, I guess, more traditional marketing or offline marketing. We still try and integrate it with our website. So we'll do that through things like QR codes, or we'll have an offline event, but then we'll make a video with it and we'll put that video on our website, and then we'll send an email newsletter and redirect people back to the website. So essentially, it's a channel that's very important for us, and that we always want as our clients and potential clients, potential staff, everyone who engages with EIP to be interacting with.
Amazing. I love to see, you know, your team really taking ownership of the site and coming up with all these new ideas and actually being excited about the site, which it doesn't happen that often. It's a website. It's geeky. It's technical. Like, no one really gets excited about it. But seeing the impact that it has, and, you know, having the whole team involved, it's really brilliant to see. And I love that for you.
Wait till you see what we have planned next, Alessia.
Oh, can't wait. Well, talking of next, I mean, we have kind of a chapter about impact, although I feel like we covered a lot of impact already that the site had for you. Is there anything that maybe we missed that you wanted to add in terms of, you know, what the impact was from the changes of the website?
Yeah, I would say we spoke a lot about impact in terms of like the leads that are coming through, and I guess the business results that we've seen, but also I would say there's been quite a positive internal impact as well, in terms of, I have noticed that since we've moved to the new website, people are more encouraged internally to want to interact with it. I mean, we have our really cool people's page where you hover over the person and they have like an AI animation. So we have people that, you know, are very excited to get their profile on the website, but also we have people that are more engaged with our request for content. So they want to write pieces for the website. And actually, I think previously we would always kind of have to push a bit more for content on the website. And also we didn't really have great analytics, so people didn't really see the point. But now we have our monthly dashboard that we roll out, and people see that, oh, people are actually engaging with our content and people are complimenting their content. We have this great kind of like internal positivity around the website and getting involved in our marketing and business development activities. And so that's how we're able to keep on top of a lot of our content. Sometimes we have requests, like we've recently launched a annual magazine of the pattern strategist, and we got it on our website as well, digital version. And we kind of felt like, oh, maybe it's a busy period, no one would want to get involved, or we may get some pushback, but we had the complete opposite. So that, I would say that's another form of impact that we've had, is just our internal stakeholders are now more willing to get involved in our M&BD activity, especially the digital activity, which we kind of struggled with previously.
You know what? This is not the first time I hear this, and it's not something that it's usually on the KPIs or anything, but I've heard it before. It's like, oh, morale went up. The whole team is so happy. And I'm like, why? So I think it's that unlocking of, you know, the bottlenecks and having that freedom within the guardrails of the brands that empowers the team more. And then the more the team is empowered, the more they feel like they can make an impact for the business and be more proactive in their job, and, you know, more rewarding overall. So
yeah, for sure.
It's great that your team feels the same way as well, which is not something that I previously thought about, but it is a thing.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, yesterday actually I spoke to a new starter in the firm, and she was very positive about our people page, and we made it, we kind of do things differently. We always want to do things differently from other law firms, actually. And so one of the things that we've done is we put our paralegals on the website, which you don't see often. And she was saying how much she loves the people's page and how important that is for her, and it shows how much we value our people. And then we also have their interest through the animations, and it brings them to life. So it's really good to hear that feedback from you know, a new joiner that's not necessarily a client or a potential client, which is what I'm mainly always thinking about. So yeah, it just touches many different people, which is nice.
I mean, building that Teams page and creating all of the videos, I think it was the highlight of the project. We had so much fun creating all of those videos. So
That was fun.
for whoever is listening, go on eop.com, click on the team page, and you'll see all of the videos and avatars. They're all AI generated, but
Yeah.
it's so much fun.
Yeah, love that page.
Is there anything that, I mean, this is one of them, but anything else that surprised you that you weren't expecting from the project that happened?
I think our website exceeded my expectations. Honestly, I kind of, at the same time we were bringing our strategy to life, and we had this whole new brand guidelines that we never really had put out there. We had brand guidelines, but we hadn't rolled out the brand. And I think one of my favorite things about the website is how much it implements like our brand and our personality, like the EIP personality. Even small things such as on our about page, where you have a description of, you know, what we've been doing over the years, and we have a kind of like small game that you can click through and see the next slide, like a shuffle. I just love that, and that was kind of all your guys' idea, and that is so EIP, so on brand for us. And then, you know, the bubbles on our website, so actually animating our illustrations that are part of our brand guideline. Our brand guidelines never said like the bubbles should move. That's something that you guys took and made it your own, and it's so EIP. And now we love moving bubbles, and if we could have them, you know, everywhere we would. And just how interactive the website is. I remember like sharing it around when it first launched, and yeah, there was such good feedback about how well it looks. And you know, even the other day I met with an old work colleague, and they went on eip.com, and the first thing they said was wow, because it kind of is breathtaking. Yeah, and I kind of felt like nothing was limited, or still nothing is limited. Whenever we kind of have a suggestion for new things we want on the website, it's you guys never say to us that's just not possible. We just make it happen, and then we make it so that we can repeat it in the future. So that kind of surprises me, and I think the way that the brand was brought to life, the way it implemented just really cool technical features, the videos on there, the animations, and it still has all of our content on there as well, and the structure is great. And one of my favorite things, which is probably not anyone else's favorite thing, is the navigation bar because previously our navigation bar was quite complex, because we do have a lot of services, we have a lot of capabilities that we offer. Like I said, we have these 3 core service areas, and then underneath that we have a lot of technical expertise that we have. And I just think clicking on the navigation bar, it's so simple, which mattered to me. That was one of the main things that I wanted, was just to make sure that visitors knew where to go to find whatever they needed. And our website does that really well, I would say.
I remember we had that session where it was just navigation. And it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
I love that.
we need to simplify this. We need to make it as easy as possible for people to find what they need. And yeah, I think it's great too.
I know, that was one of my favorite sessions. I wish I kind of want to relive that, just because I enjoyed it so much.
Shall we just redesign the site and do it all over again?
Now I've got to wait another 10 years.
Yeah, well, we can, there's lots of other projects that we're
Yeah.
currently working on with you, so lots more to come. And
Yeah.
on that note, kind of what's next for EAP? What's on the horizon?
So much, Alessia. I mean, we will have a lot more. We're planning to, without giving away all our secrets, we're planning to have a lot more lead generation tools on our website, and we want them to be a bit more interactive. So we recently put an ebook up on there, which was amazing. And the ebook, I mean, it's all been organic traffic, and within the first week, I think we had over 30 new people enter the CRM from downloads. So that was really good. So we kind of want to replicate this more. So we're thinking of maybe interactive tools, other versions of lead generation, which I don't want to say too much. So that should be next for us. And then also I want us as a team to kind of start being able to use the templates that you guys have kindly built, all the components that you've built, and kind of set up pages ourselves to do this. We have such great structure in there. So that is our next, I guess, like next big thing is kind of like being way more independent with what we upload now that you've shown us how to do it. And I think everything's set up for us. So I would just say keep an eye out on our content hub, maybe sign up to our newsletters, and everyone will be able to see what we release next.
Amazing. I mean, the one thing that I find so satisfying on my side is putting out all of the foundation for all of the different building blocks that creates that growth engine, and then give the keys to you and your team, and then seeing it just evolve and functioning and growing. And it's so fulfilling on my side. Which
I know, and Alessia, because it's so organized, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sure if I could never build this, but if I was to build it, I would not be able to organize it in this way. I feel like you have our colors in there perfectly, you have everything named perfectly. It's so easy to find the components we need or whatever we need to build. So I kind of want that to be the next step, is for us to kind of try it and give it a go ourselves as well.
Amazing. And yeah, we're always here to support you in the future as well. Whenever you need more training sessions, or new features come in, or new ideas come out. And we're towards the end, coming up towards the end of the session. And I have one more question for you, Shainaz. And I see there's a few more questions also coming in. But it's, what was the biggest learning from, the whole exercise? What was maybe unexpected, or what's the biggest takeaway that you would, show and tell anyone else who would like to create a growth engine or transform their site to be more of a sales tool?
Yeah, I have two. Of course, I can't have one, but that's just how I am. Okay, so the first one, I would say the biggest takeaway is to make sure that it's aligned with your strategy. I kind of feel like when we took on this project, although it was a massive project, when you think about the fact that we built a whole new website, we had to kind of get data off the old site. We had an old site with content on that was 10 years old. And we had to move it over. But because we had a wider strategy that we always kept at the back of our mind, it kind of made everything a lot easier. We were always thinking about going back to our strategy, thinking about, okay, will this resonate with the strategy? Will this resonate with the target audience? And I think that's what helped things like the navigation bar conversation be a lot easier. Or when we were thinking about the markets that we were launching in, I think though that was important. So always keep your strategy at the back of your mind and do that first before taking on this project. And then I guess my other takeaway was I guess about internal stakeholders. We had quite big buy-in from the beginning from our senior leaders. So when we first met Code and Wonder, we had our CEO meet with them as well, and our founder. And I think that was very important because it meant that the firm was aligned and the firm knew that we were going through this big change. And over time, we kept communicating it at many all hands that we were getting a new website. And it meant that it was a surprise to nobody. People expected their profiles to change. People expected content that they maybe had written 5 years ago to be moved to a new site. And, it was everyone was aware of it and everyone was bought in. And I think that was important for us, because if it was just our team trying to push it ourselves without any buy-in, it would have been a lot harder. And also we wanted other people's point of view. Especially our attorneys and solicitors, they work with our clients all the time, so they can think about how our clients would see this website. So that was another big takeaway for me. And it was one of the best things that we did, was to have our senior leadership team involved, because I don't think there was anything that we probably didn't run past them, maybe small things, but when it came to big decisions, I remember when we did kind of the mapping out of the website, we got them involved then, and then we could move to build. So that just made it way more smoother for me internally.
And I feel like decisions are made a lot quicker because they are involved as well. So everyone is on the same page, everyone knows what's happening, and then everyone is involved in those big decisions, which makes the whole process a lot smoother, because you don't have to backtrack and be like, oh, actually, once we launched, someone wasn't totally
Yeah.
agreeing with it, and then we had to like redo it. So making sure that everyone is on the same page makes it a lot easier as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've got a question here from Neil. I'm going to just pop it up here. So, question for Shainaz. Wonderful discussion. Thank you. I'd love to know what you would say to a company who's worried about kicking off a website revamp. What mindset shift is needed to embrace the process?
Oh, Neil, that is a interesting question. I mean, well, me personally, I don't really think there's much to be worried about. But if they were worried about it, I would say trust the process. As long as you're confident in your marketing strategy and you know what you want the end result to be, and you work with a really good agency like we did with Code and Wonder, I think it will come. Whatever you want from your strategy will come to life with your website. Have original goals. Our original goal and the end result changed. Like I said, our original goal, we didn't think we would get leads in there. So have original goals, but know that they may change along the time. And yeah, just be brave. I would just do it. That's my advice. But I'm kind of just a just do it person anyway.
I love it. And I mean, if you're on the fence and you're not too sure, you can always book a call with us. Shameless plug. Yeah.
Love it.
You can go to codeandwonder.com and you can find book a call, and happy to have, a free call just to assess the situation, what might be helpful for you to change on the site, whether it's a whole rebrand or whether it's maybe a few changes that you can do to help out with, conversion rates or AI visibility and all of those things as well. And I think we're just past the time. So just to recap and just to finish it off, actually, and building on top of what Neil asked, is we have a set of tools that we build to help you identify maybe some gaps within your AI visibility or conversion rates. So let me get the call to action here. Here we go. So if you're wanting to test out our tools and see how your site is doing, you can go to tools.codeandwonder.com and you'll see various tools, a whole list of them in there, specifically for AI visibility, conversion, test, and user experience. And if you click on the call to action right there, start the test, you'll start with the AI visibility score one. So make sure you click that and see what you could improve on the site. And yeah, after that, we're always here to help. So any questions or revamp or site expansions that you're looking for, always happy to have a chat and have a call together. Right, Shainaz, thank you so much for joining me in this webinar. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you,
great.
everyone, for listening. And I'll hopefully see you all at the next webinar. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.